No, thank you. This is a committee of conference on the FY 24 budget adjustment, and we're have about 15 minutes. We have a few things we hope to be able to close out today. Obviously, there'll be others that will either we'll take care of early next week. This bill is going to be out before we leave for town meeting, so
That is our plan.
yes. And we do know that deadlines do work. So we had a number of things. I know that Senator Westman was going to do some follow-up regarding adult-based ed, and he's had conversations with Matthew Holly, who's been your lead person on that. And we were gonna also get more information. I think we're all set relative to the funding on the syringe. It was just confirming that it.
And we do have language here,
Okay.
from Katie, which I will forward to all the appropriate people.
Okay.
And so, why don't we just get started on the ones that we can maybe get off the list today? The housing ones are obviously waiting till Tuesday.
Until after Tuesday, I can offer, Madam, since information has come in, I'm sure it was discussed a great deal, but on the second page, the line 27, all the way to 32.
That's you get
All
$5
of
million.
the 5 million has been tracked down, okay, everybody understands and confirmed on email that we can check all of those off.
So the 5 million.
The 5 million,
And,
as it's written there, is correct.
so we 27 through 32.
Correct.
And that was what Commissioner Gresham
Yeah.
had indicated, but you wanted to have.
Yeah, and UVM
And Mark got the correct information.
correct
So
I think there was
information,
some
and UVM,
I think there was, but everybody's on the same page and it's all.
and UVM's very clear, Wendy, who works for them, was very clear last night that they are absolutely affected. So that's good news.
All right, just below that 34, we really need to hold that open because because of the mechanism by which we're hoping to just get grants out to municipalities.
Right.
So,
I had that down as Senator Birchwick's language on that.
34, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes,
Back on the ARPA reversions, just to make clear, there were 2 adjustments in the technical letter to the numbers, which are,
does that mean we don't have 5 million?
no, you still have 5 million, it's a
Okay.
$3,000 change between 2 of the line items, but you're accepting the change plus the technical letter, just wanna make sure that's.
Okay,
Yes.
different, okay,
Yeah, sure.
thank you, Emily, thank you.
And you'll make sure those changes are done.
Yep,
We're waiting on the language on the towns, and we have, or we will have, or we do have the language on the syringe.
I just sent it around to everybody,
And that
so.
will be 30, number 38 and number 3.
Yeah.
Post 38,
Yeah,
that's.
38 and 3 with the
That was
language.
fine. You just got that to all of us.
Yeah,
It's pretty straightforward, the language that, yeah.
there it is.
I just got sent.
Yes, Teresa just sent it to all of us. Would you like?
Sure.
What did we do before these songs?
I don't know. I think we had a light. Yeah, I don't carry mine
I at
around.
least could drive
Did
the
you do
car.
an email? Is that what you
And
did?
listen to
Just a
me.
second, I sent it to Grady and
Not
through, hold on. I didn't send it to everybody on the committee, but here I go right now. Go right now. Katie's doing so many things for me right now that I have to find it. Okay. Forward, I got it now. Okay.
You doing?
Yeah, I'm doing it too. Yeah. Your Hotmail one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
doesn't have it.
Okay.
Somebody seems to be excited out there.
Lots of kids out.
You have by the door, okay, you have the
Yeah, we want to
the
see
door
my
right by the
language.
door.
Yeah.
Well, not so, be great.
I haven't gotten it
I'm
yet.
just waiting for it to show up.
Yeah.
It's not.
When we just have the
Oh.
door between, so that's where the sound's coming.
When I was on transportation on the 3rd floor, and the room next door was
Appreciate, yeah, you're good.
totally.
Exactly what I'm talking.
Right, exactly. So. Do you wanna look at my phone?
What did you just read it?
Okay.
Okay.
It says,
I'll return.
in the fiscal year In fiscal year 2025, 218,000
Fiscal year 25?
It's 24.
to be 24. I
Yeah.
think we're
Yeah,
reading it.
I just, yeah, should be 24.
Fiscal year 2024, we'll change that. 218,000 is appropriated to the Department of Health
No,
and the
it's not.
Tobacco Litigation Settlement Fund pursuant to 32 VSA 435A for distribution as follows.
Okay, got it right
148,000,
here.
you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And this, which Senator Westman says it's exactly what he was expecting it to do, except for the bond year.
I just sent it to Katie, correct, to 24.
Okay.
So if you are fine with that correction. Okay,
Yeah, we can work that
How
out.
was that out? Okay.
So three,
But we're gonna,
3 is done.
30 and 38. 38.
okay, and
So on
then,
number, just make sure, number 3, we're gonna make it 218,000 from the tobacco.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Um,
and then, I think,
do you wanna, just talk to the other companies about your, at least what you have for information now on AGE?
This is partly Amy, this is partly Mark, this is, partly Brian Krantz, credits to, the adult basic education,
Yeah.
people, this is partly from Action Circles, so I've been around the
Been around the block.
I've been around the block on this, just so you know, and to get background to this. The governor put exactly the same number as is in the budget this year. That
Level funded.
level funded without the 500 or anything. And what Mark tells me is that we have about 300, 3.5 million in general fund dollars in the bottom line of all of this. And if we do some of the recommendations that are in the report that was read in the summer and up the general fund amount coming in, that given the governor's numbers and where we are, that comes up to about 5.4 million, which is about $1 million short in their budget for next year, which I think is important for us to realize in this, because we aren't, whatever we put in now is not going to solve next year and do anything going forward.
Okay.
So that is the first piece. Now, I just had, where did I put this?
we had
I gave you the sheet.
I saw the sheets.
You saw the sheet. We have, of the 4 organizations,
It was
I-
300
380,000 or something.
No, it was 300 valves, 40 for, Northeast Kingdom Learning, and the other two.
Central
actually-
Vermont and TTC, yes.
The other two had actually gone in and reduced their, spending to accommodate the amount of money. So we have 2 that manage to their budget and, one that's fairly much over, and the one in my area is 40,000.
What was the three, the central? Vermont? Okay.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, good.
Oh,
I lose them in the
that's
stack.
ours.
I do the same thing, I'm
Sorry.
comforted
You wanna
by,
give your Senate colleague the copy?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I'll
can
share.
Well, I got it memorized.
Well, we've all got it memorized there, but as you can see that. So, Val has $300,000 deficit. They are the largest, they are half of, all the programs in the state, and the other 3 are smaller. Those are, so the deficits are 340. The other 2 organizations are running extremely tight budgets, and they have cut staff to stay within their budget.
So they've already cut stuff.
They've already cut staff to stay within their budget. I'm, I looked at that and I quite. It gives me a little angst because they did what they should.
managed to their,
They managed to that, and I feel a little bit like, can't we do something to help them a little bit? And I looked at the other 2 and I understand their deficit and everything, but it gives me a little angst.
This is for,
No, no, I have no comment on that.
I didn't think anybody.
Do we know Senator, feeling like not wanting to reward, or I should say disincentivize people from making the hard choices? Do we have a number that would be, there?
I think at this point, we need to sort out their problems in the context of 25.
Right.
And because we're going to have to implement changes to the way that particularly, and I might say there's two issues here. One is the programs that are around high school graduation. And then they have deficits in their overall budget in this. This is not, so if, and most of the recommendations that we are going to implement are recommendations around the high school graduation, but that doesn't take care of their overall whole problem. So,
It is a 25 issue.
so it really is a 25 issue, and I'm reluctant to not say to them, we're going to cover those holes at this time. And, but I would say, I would like to just nod at the organizations.
We might have to say, finding $1 million in the 25 budget, after you get the additional money,
Well, because
for
we're
the
right-
assessment, may not, so
May
it
not
gives
know.
you time to think about how you're going to adjust to
That all of them.
that
Right.
fiscal reality.
Right, so do we wanna give a little something to the other two?
I'd like to,
Like what, 10 each or something?
10 or 20 or whatever you wanna do, just,
Yeah,
I would like to give them a
Yeah.
nod.
I had
because they-
380 in my head.
yeah, I had 380
Well,
also, so 20 each, do 380.
Yep, I would,
I think that's fair. I mean, trying to be fair.
they've done the work.
Yeah.
So you had 500 and we had
You had one, so
175, so
we're at 380.
80, so we minus the one
all
seventy-five
right,
is
just
the
mean
addition.
we're whittling away at what you have for your
Well,
25
I
construct.
instructed the committee,
105.
the House 105. The
That's it.
committee today left with the web report, and the House, the Appropriations Committee is aware of the fact that there's.
You mean your committee?
My committee knows that there's 14.8, and every decision made in this room makes that
Less.
less and, or the whole figure.
Mhm.
So send everybody home to find, we got 11 other members. Maybe if everybody comes back and finds $1 million in their budgets. Come back Monday.
Maybe
So
go to
we
the subject matter committee.
That, yeah.
So
That's gonna be
our
happening
letters
too.
are coming in today from, or should be.
So this is instead of minus 325, is minus 120. Is what I get, but I'm not,
Is,
yeah.
Well, we're adding 105.
Adding
according to
105
trees
to
over what
380.
to get to
We have
380.
one seventy.
No, that, they
Now
have
that's from,
75.
she's going from the Senate position, you're going from the House
No,
position.
yeah. There.
So we're-
Anyway,
you
it's
had
380 total.
yeah.
You're minus 325 and I'm saying we're
380 total,
minus
yeah.
120, so it's 380 total.
380 is the new
380.
amount. So we raised it 105 from ours and lowered it, whatever that comes out to.
I do think that it's important to say at this table that it will be almost an impossible lift to find
Yes,
$1 million.
it is.
That's right.
Because we need to find 15 just to get to zero,
Yeah.
just to get to zero.
Right,
uh-huh.
okay, so
Um,
this one's okay.
So we're
Is that
okay?
on that?
all right.
We're okay.
Sorry.
Yes,
The language associated with that one-time appropriation with changes said deficit reduction. Would that language stay based on this new construct, and is there any
I would-
additional
I would
construction
hope
in the
that
language?
what we would do in this is we would delineate between the four organizations and give them each a thing, just so the money doesn't go in a pot and somebody,
Right.
because those other two that have done the work to get, to eliminate their deficits, I wanna make
I
sure.
think it just added deficit, but it didn't make it exclusive to
No,
deficit.
it just adds deficit.
Yeah, so I
Why
think
don't,
that's-
we'll double check the language.
Okay.
But I'd
But
like
make
to
sure
make
it
sure
says
it
each
gets
one, not each one.
delineated,
Yes.
That
so,
each one
so
gets
the
specific.
organizations that have done the work, that have cut positions to stay within balance, don't get zeroed out.
Right,
So well, are you asking for
That
language on
VAL
that?
gets-
I would like that.
Then are you asking for
Yes,
language on that?
yes,
Well,
yes.
I guess the
You're
question
asking,
is, do you
I'm
want
trying to figure out who's asking Katie for language.
do you want to do like we did with the AIDS organizations and list them and the amounts?
Yes.
Yes,
I think
yes.
it's really what we're
Yeah.
asked
Yes.
Right.
to do. So the
Okay.
same thing we just did with the syringe. And
Right.
although that 218 was, to go
Right.
out, we'll do the same here.
We'll work on it.
Okay.
We'll bring it back.
They'll-
It's
they'll bring-
not very complicated.
So we,
Yeah.
340 and 20 and 20.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We'll just make sure, we'll bring it so you can bless it.
we agree on that concept.
Okay, that was done.
Is there anything else?
Well, I don't know, this may work and it may not. I was concerned from a budgetary perspective, the use of term obligated. On the other hand, I wanted to make sure that we were protecting, community-based, and I didn't wanna, inadvertently somehow do something that would disadvantage protection of our home and community-based side. So I thought maybe just some restatement, obligated funds and making it sure that those home and community-based expenses, because they've been obligated or protected. Take a look at it. In other words, not something being scooped. And you don't need to respond now, just take it.
Cause you need to go.
Well,
We need to go.
You have.
You need to
Brent here.
Great. And that was good. And then later, I know we're not meeting again today, but there may be some things that's for your, to take a look at that you may have ready along with this for the program. Who we're not gonna meet on Monday.
No,
Maybe Tuesday?
schedule's got, a little complicated,
Okay.
and so what we're doing is noon, so bringing lunch.
Joint fiscal committee.
Noon to 1:30.
And then after that, should we plan
Yeah,
to reconvene at 3 o'clock
Yeah,
on
that-
Tuesday to finish it off?
Okay, 3 o'clock. Then are we gonna do joint fiscal in our room 11?
Right, in room 11?
If we can all sit around it?
I
There's
think
10 of
so.
us, yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so note to self, I need to bring copies.
Yeah.
It's.
And then we're doing
Bring it with
It's
you.
your
Three
Three
to the end.
I'm a baker, I can make cookies.
You are, yes.
I can make cookies.
Okay, we will, you will meet that and.
Yeah. We would, because we're moving into our afternoon committee here.
Yeah.
Do you have to go off live or do you?
You just
We will
switched
go off, so I'm going to, adjourn the committee
Yeah.
conference, and we will, reconvene at 3 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, with the benefit of